I like Sharangovich. I said to Ryan last night, it's too bad for Conroy because the deal's a good deal. The guy scores 30, wants to stay, $5 million. It's not terrible dough. But I just don't know. At some point, the player has to take some accountability. Did he get injured early? Yes. Has he been moved up and down the lineup positionally and all of that? Yes. But he just has not. This has been a dreadful year. He has 12 goals, and it's almost flattering. His shooting percentage is 21%, which is not terrible. He's on the ice for 17 minutes a night. He's getting power play time. They're using him as you would want. At some point, the player has to come through for you if he is that guy. I don't know. Maybe he isn't that guy. Ryan, you said, is he a 30-goal guy? Maybe not. But he's got to get more than what he's been doing. And right now, when everything else has fallen off the table offensively, he's one guy you should be able to count on because he's done it before. Zary hasn't. Backlund has. Like all these guys haven't done it. This guy has the shot and the skill set to be able to do it. And he's not only is he not doing it, he's just kind of invisible right now.
I use a thing I call the James Neal test for offensive players. If you're not scoring, what are you doing to help the team? And if the answer is not a lot, you might find yourself playing in Edmonton because there's nothing else to do with you. I like Sharangovich as an offensive player, but I think the big challenge is him. Like he kills penalties and he's okay at it, but the top PK, he's playing with Coleman on the PK because Coleman is a really good two-way player. When Coleman's not scoring, he's keeping the puck out of your zone. When Rooney's not scoring, he's at least eating up some minutes on the fourth line and killing penalties for you and winning some face-offs on occasion. He's not amazing, but he's a fairly prototypical Flames fourth line center in the last few years. I just think that's a challenge with me with Sharangovich. Like he's just I don't want to call him a one-trick pony, but right now, this year he's playing like a one-trick pony because if he's not scoring, what's he doing? And we're not seeing the level of dynamism that we've seen from him in the past. Like against Toronto, is a lot of skating up the wing. Oh, they steering into the boards. Oh well, I guess they don't have the puck anymore.
Yeah, and I said 20 to 21%. It was a lot, but either way, it's just we kind of talk about it when there's a trade made, and you think you've made a good trade. It's like, well, what did the team that trade And right now, we're almost seeing carbon copy stuff from the first stretch of games that he had in New Jersey.
100%.
Comes in as a young guy. Okay, that's your first year. Then breaks through in a bit with the Devils. 24 goals. Nice. The next year, we're not seeing as much. Lindy Ruff takes him off the power play, puts him on the penalty kill, drops him down the lineup. 13 goals. Comes to Calgary. Boom. 31 goals. Hey.
What a trade.
Here's the money. Great trade. Look at this guy. What a bunch of idiots in New Jersey. This year, 12 goals. Got a penalty kill guy. It's very much deja vu for number 17, I'm afraid.
Consistently inconsistent. And Pike, obviously, we got to put huge dough down that he's going to have that bounce back here next year. I think just to paraphrase what Boom and I were saying last night, like he's clearly not 12 goal bad. And, we sometimes see the first year of new contracts tough for guys for whatever reason mentally. Maybe you ease up without thinking you are, just subconsciously. I also don't know that you're going to be able to put him down for 30 very often, but somewhere in the middle, there's actually a helpful player, right? It doesn't have to be these polar extremes.
Yeah, and especially like if the idea is like, I'll shout out a player. Matt Coronado has been so consistent for the Flames this year, and he's been in the top 9 pretty much all season. Outside of that 1 week where they put him on the fourth line, he's been in the top 9 all season because consistently you can okay, it's been 2-3 games. Coronado's going to score a key goal here or make an offensive play that leads to a goal, and it's like clockwork. And clockwork players are the guys you can build your group around. The reason why the Flames, a few years ago when he was a pending free agent, plunked down the money they did for Michael Backlund was Michael Backlund did the things he did consistently. So maybe he wouldn't chip in offensively a ton, but you kind of knew with a reasonable parameter what you're going to get from Backlund in any game segment, and you can build around it. And I think that's the big challenge of the Flames right now because Sharangovich, he's sort of been all over the place. And he's had those stretches where you look at him and you go, there's the guy he was last season. And then you see some of the stretches that they could go, that's probably the guy that made them want to trade him to Calgary for Toffoli. And if he could be a consistent like 20 goal guy and bring that level of offensive engagement and execution on a 20 game level consistently, I don't think he'd be as frustrating a player to watch, because I think people are, especially fans, I get fans asking me like, so what's up with Sharangovich? What's wrong with him? I'm like, because we've seen the flashes of pure brilliance, and then we don't notice him for like 2 weeks. And
Yeah.
I can only imagine if you're the Flames coaching staff or Craig Conroy, the big challenge might be maybe you get him to change up his training. Maybe you sort of just get him to clear his head. He seems like a guy who might be in his own head right now. But if he can unlock it, I mean, the nice thing for the Flames is that big deal doesn't start until next season. So that's theoretically a next year problem. But you also, you kind of need to figure him out, because if you're going to have him on your team for 5 years, even with the cap going up, you want him to have a thing that he can lean on when he's not scoring that makes him effective, because that way maybe he can be effective more consistently.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out more of our content right here on the Flames Nation YouTube page. We had a bunch of great long form interviews. You can check out some videos we've done as well outside of the studio. And of course, if you want more writing or merchandise stuff, flamesnation.ca or nationgear.ca. Appreciate you watching.